Are we live?
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of The Radar. We've got myself, we've got King John, and we got the birthday boy, Brandon Lee, down there. Says he's just turning 21, so or half of that, but should be a great show today. So, what we have here is a question that was asked to us last week, and obviously, someone chose this topic, but it's really interesting. And I know that it was tough for me to narrow this down, but he said, what is each of ours three greatest playoff, not series again, but just three individual greatest playoff games of all time as far
Okay.
as performances go?
Well, that's
And so I'm like, that is a great question. And there was so many. It's like, how do you narrow down that without seeming? I mean, it's just gonna be like someone's like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And for me, it was very tough because there's just like so many to choose from. But I did narrow down three that I thought stood out to me the most, and Lemon here did the same. So we're gonna see where our opinions fall into that. So I was like, why don't you lead us off there, John?
first, everybody. I hope y'all got to see the end of that Clippers Nuggets game. I told you guys before the playoffs started, I think we was gonna have some good playoff series going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think anybody's been disappointed. Okay, we do have one disappointing series, OKC and Memphis. Sweet.
It's over, thank God. Don't worry.
Yes, thank God it's over. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think the fans deserve that type of torture, but I'm gonna give y'all two of my three, and then I'll give y'all my third. My first one is Game 6, first round, Denver versus Utah, Game 6. Jamal Murray for 50 points. Remember, they was down 3-1.
Mm.
Jamal Murray, he had 50 points in Game 6. When I seen that that was his coming out party. And what a lot of people don't remember, he was considered the best player on Denver, not Joker at the time. And that was his come out party to be the best player on the team. He ended up getting hurt the next year, and then Joker just took it from there, and he ain't turned back since. But that game 5, Jamal Murray showed off. He showed why he was a star in this league, and from that point on, he's had big games. But that first 50-point game, Game 6, was it for me. And then my second choice, because I thought we were saying series, my second choice,
Mhm.
let me see, you guys, was LeBron James. Game 2, 2018, Eastern Conference Finals versus Toronto. No, was it Eastern Conference? I'll tell you in 1 sec. Yeah, it was Eastern Conference Semis versus Toronto. Game 2, he had 43.
Mm.
And that's and help remind you guys of that game too. The second half is when he hit all them fadeaway jump shots, and everybody kept talking about them fadeaway jump shots he was hitting in the second half of that game. I think he was unbelievable in that whole playoffs that year. But just that game 2, he had really showed off. He showed he had no weakness in his game. It was the year that I felt he became very confident in his jump shot, and just that game alone. It's the two so far. I'm gonna give out. I'll give y'all my third one in a second.
That Murray pick was awesome. I forgot all about that one. That I remember that game. That was crazy. It was like that's I think what put him on the radar for me.
Yeah.
A good pick, man. Yeah, and LeBron. I have LeBron on my list too, but my third one, and just going from third up, uh, I got to go 1980 Magic Johnson Game 6. I've got to go that like
Ooh.
as a rookie, 43 points on almost 60% shooting, and you lead your team in basically assists and rebounds, and you're playing center against like one of the best teams of all time, especially one of the best to be dynasties there, team loaded with Hall of Famers. This is a pressure. Just to me, like that makes a top three just because of the pressure, the stage, your best player on the team is out, and you have to be the guy as a rookie. To me, to me, it's almost like feels almost criminal not putting that number one. But to me, it's just that one just stands out just because of the not just because it was Magic Johnson, but just because of the situation and context with it. Um, B. Lee, do you have one? Or are you set up there or?
Yeah, I'm still waiting my car until they call us. But I guess probably one of the best games I ever seen was the Toronto versus Philly game in 2001, I believe. It was game three when Vince Carter hit 8 straight threes in the first half to score 50 points. Probably one of the best games that most I was watching it because Vince was my favorite player back then. Like probably not too many people remember this game, but Vince Carter was on fire. Hit 8 threes in the first half. I think he hit like 9 straight threes because he hit his first three in the second half. He went on to have 50 points. So that's like one of the best, games I've seen right there. Period.
I
And
need to rewatch
probably
that series, honestly.
yeah,
That's
probably
just,
Vince Carter best game. I think the next game AI scored 50 points as well.
Yeah, that
But
was the AI Vince series when they was going back and
yeah,
forth. Yeah,
back and forth, and then in game seven, Vince missed that shot to win the series after he
mm.
graduated and everything.
That
And
think about the star power in that series.
yeah, that was crazy.
Like, insane.
Yeah, then there's so many games that I could pick from. LeBron about the best series because people could do that for LeBron and Jordan. Period.
Yeah.
Great games that they played, but you know, um, I'll let you guys go pick your other ones before I tell my other one.
yeah. My last one was the 1993 NBA Finals, Bulls versus Suns game 2. Now, just so you know, it wasn't his highest scoring game, but it was the game when Phoenix realized we can't put Dan Marley on Jordan. We got to put somebody else on him. It was game 2. He had 42, 12, and 9. Jordan had made the decision, if you're going to put Dan Marley on me, I'm taking the ball to the basket and I'm going to punish him for guarding me. At that time, I had never seen noticeably a team say, you can't guard him. We got to put somebody else on him. And they ended up putting a smaller defender on him, which was crazy. And they put Kevin Johnson on him. But it was the first time I ever seen a team noticeably switch defenders on somebody, and it was Michael Jordan being guarded by Dan Marley. And just so everybody know, Dan Marley was known as a defender.
Yeah, he was a good defender.
So you telling me probably your best perimeter defender has to be switched off because he can't guard somebody for a smaller defender? I think Jordan was amazing in that series, but that game was the game that Phoenix said we can't make you the main. You can't just guard him because you can't guard him. He's attacking you because you can't guard him. And so I just that was my first introduction to somebody can't guard me, and I always had that type of mindset as a basketball player myself. So
yeah,
it was the awakening of me. So
I mean, they didn't have much luck guarding him that entire series because, like,
yeah.
when you don't have the horses to guard like a top 10 scorer of all time, like, what are you gonna do?
And just so everybody know, I said game 2. The next game he went for 44, and the game after that he went for 55. So I just gave y'all the beginning of it. I didn't say. I mean, to me, that game 2 was like y'all really deciding to keep this guy on me. That's why I used game 2 and not even game 4. So,
well, and like I agree with you, and like that comes to my next pick. Because the thing was so freakish about Mike is like he'll have series like that where he's shooting a lot of shots, but he's so freakishly efficient in a lot of those things. It's just like you couldn't be like, oh well, he'll shoot you his team out of games and some of these. Like he's just going to punish you.
yeah,
And like it was like a center kind of like you had to. What were you doing? Like I almost went to his '92 series versus the Heat where it just wasn't fair. Like his numbers don't even make sense for that series. like
Yeah, that was
45 points on like 70% shooting. It's like, what are you doing? But my second one is I went to this one was tough because I almost put 2007 LeBron versus the Pistons, and was a game 5 or 25 straight points, including the game winner. But because that one to me is always legendary. But instead, I went 91 Mike game 2 versus the Lakers.
Ooh.
With that game, it's like when you watch, because that was one of the first games series that I actually sat down and watched because I was pretty young, but that was like you want every shot. Mike did it. Like it was very, very, very few free throws for him, but he was just getting to his spots, contested jumpers. It reminded me of like 2009 Kobe versus the Magic, only way more efficient. 83% shooting in that game, and he led his team in assists and steals and rebounds. It's like unstoppable became like a new meaning to it. Like when you have a guard who's shooting 83% against you and he's shooting in volume and he's doing everything else too on both ends, it just wasn't fair at all. Lakers had no answer. But that was my number 2. Man.
They literally had no answer, and it was after that. Just think about this: the Bulls had lost game 1 of that series.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna tell people, Chicago fans wasn't scared after that because we felt like we could beat the Lakers, and it was just like we was considered a young team, and it was just like we lost game 1, and then Jordan did that game 2.
Yeah.
Trust me, the Bulls didn't lose another game after that game 1. So that game 2 was, to me, the end of the series. Jordan just said, "I'm gonna be dominant the rest of the series." So, yes, that game 2 is an awakening. So,
yeah, it's just like you've never seen anything. It was just like he was a coalesced of like the best offensive arsenal, like, at least for one series or game that you've seen from like a guard. It was just, it was artistic. But
yes,
for my number 1. This was really tough because, like you said, there's so many, right? There's like, I almost went to like 87 Hakeem versus the Sonics, where he scored like 54 points, 25 rebounds, 6 blocks, but they lost that game. But to me, that was one of them. But to me, I went this comes down to like me just having witnessed it. Was a 2001 Shaq versus the Spurs. I believe it was game 3 in the Western Conference Final, which was the real championship, obviously, by the way.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Shaq, I believe he hung 35 points, 17 rebounds, he had like 3 blocks, 2 steals on like, almost 70% shooting. And he was doing this against basically prime Robinson, prime Duncan, not necessarily prime Robinson, but still prime defensive Robinson. They both finished top 5 in DPOY, Duncan and Robinson that year. And Duncan finished second DPOY voting, or in MVP voting. Shaq was abusing these people simultaneously. To me, like that game, like they were such a, and I almost said Kobe that game because Kobe was otherworldly that game too. I think that's the best game they ever played together, in my opinion. But especially because it was on the road. But that game was just, you could see a team get demoralized. Like when you have like maybe all the best defenders in the game, and you were a top 5 offensive and the number 1 defense that year, the Spurs, and you just get obliterated by Shaq to that kind of efficiency. He only hit 3 free throws. He was dunking, he was getting his spots, he was hooking, everything. And it was just the point where you could see where they just gave up. They ended up getting blown out. But that was the most impressive performance I've seen, just because you couldn't stop him. Nothing you did. If you have the best defenders, won't help. Every kind of scheme you want to throw at him, doesn't matter. He's going to get his. To me, that was just and especially against the competition. Yes, that's why Shaq was just like just kind of a specimen. So, but yeah, there's lots.
Yeah, what I loved about that series myself is that they was forced to double Shaq, but it was the series that said that Kobe told the world, "You gotta guard me 1-on-1, and you can't. You supposed to be doubling me, and you doubling him." To me, that's what I saw of him. It was like, y'all supposed to be doubling me. Y'all disrespecting me by not doubling me because y'all doubling him. And you had to double. There was no way you could not double Shaq. And what Shaq showed is that I'm going at the two best defenders, two of the top three best defenders centers in the league, and I'm going to dominate them. I don't care about DPOY. I don't even know what that means. That's what Shaq showed me in that series. I don't even know what that means. And hey, Shaq was dominant, and he had a stretch in his career that it was just so dominant. And I think he cheated us out of a couple of years by not taking care of his body, and because I think he could have did that for a little bit more while, but he was really dominant at that game. So yeah, that was a great game. That was a really great game you picked.
It was like watching that playoff run was that entire playoff because he was doing that the entire time, right? Like because he did it against the Kings. Obviously, he destroyed the Sixers too. But like, when you won then that was like prime Blazers too. Prime Blazers got swept, and that's like when you were watching him play, it was like you weren't comprehending kind of what you were seeing just because he was so. People were just hurt, like punching him, pulling him, grabbing, and he was just. It was like not even fair having Shaq at that point. Like from 2000 to 2003 or whatever, he was just okay. You're good for 30 points, 20 rebounds. This is like, but you're right. I almost went Kobe for the number one for that game specifically. Honorable mention though, I was gonna say a couple honorable mentions. I was gonna say 2010 Kobe versus Phoenix Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals.
Oh yes.
That was like the most masterful game I've seen Kobe play personally.
You only supposed to have 3. I'm trying to shout out 5 different games.
Tell us yours, B-Man.
Travis, who is your like favorite player?
Mine?
Yeah.
James Worthy.
Okay. I figured you would say the Game 7 where he secured the Finals MVP with a 36-point triple-double. Apparently not hard enough. Like it's not too many games. I don't think any game you said that really trumps that game.
Really?
Game 7 performance.
I mean, yeah, he had like 40 points versus the Pistons. That was an amazing performance
In a Game 7, man.
in Game 7.
Yeah, you guys are naming Game 2s and 3s and stuff, but anyways, and then another game was Giannis clinching game in the finals with 50 points.
Yeah, I think he went like 17 from 18 for the free throw line or something like that. I might be off a free throw, but yeah, he was dominant. That game was he was dominant that game. He closed that game out, and Giannis had really did his thing that series. And,
first player with a 50-point in a clinching game in the finals.
Yeah, it was a dominant game. I mean, they had nobody to guard him.
I think James Worthy was the first player to have a triple-double in the Game 7 as well.
Yeah, I think James Worthy was the first to have a triple-double.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why he was my favorite player. And like, people don't talk about him giving Scottie the business in that 91 series either. Like, that went under the radar, but he was abusing that man before he got injured.
All right, can y'all see the trivia question? Do y'all know the answer to that?
Who is the only player to score over 50 points in their first nationally televised game?
I don't see.
Great question, guys. Larry Bird.
No.
I don't know. Honestly, that's a great question.
You don't see it, John?
No, I don't see it. I'm looking. Is it in chat?
No, it's
streaming.
Yeah, it's streaming on.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Who was the first player to score 50 points in the first? Ooh.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
a great question.
I'd love to say somebody like Oscar or Bernard King.
Nope.
That's such a
yes. That's a great question.
You will actually have to watch this game to actually know it. You actually had to be there to watch the game to know it.
Oh, so that means it was old, right? Old as hell. Okay, obviously. Maybe like Jerry West or something? No. Nationally televised. Huh.
It
That's a
definitely, it
So you
definitely.
got to think about what games was nationally televised back then,
yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, that's
You don't
true.
even know that.
I mean, that's like why I think it happened in the 80s, right? Because you had a lot of great scorers that were starting to get nationally televised games. I don't know. Hopefully, someone in the chat gets it so they can
I doubt it. Some,
participate.
somebody said Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan's first national televised game, I think they said it was 43 or something. It was almost 50.
Alice English.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Was I say? So, was there any interesting honorable mentions you had there, King John, for like the best game ever? Because like, yeah, like Brandon said, there were so many. Dude, Worthy was gonna be mine. I almost put him in there.
I like the approach Brandon came with the game closing games.
Yeah.
Um, what I would say, Game 7, Miami versus San Antonio. I think LeBron had 36, 37.
37.
He hit 5 threes in that game. He was 5 for 10 from the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm.
Because they kept trying to step back. He hit the they had went pick and roll for the game winner. Kawhi was guarding him. I think he was trying to set up for the switch, and Kawhi didn't switch, but he hit the mid range like 20-foot jumper for game. It was a game, but they stretched the lead to like 5 or 6. And I love that performance because he went at with how they was trying to guard him because they were trying to back up on LeBron, and he was making the 3-point shot that game. That's the game after the Ray Allen shot, so everybody will remember.
Yeah.
It's the game after the Ray Allen shot, and I would say that Game 7, LeBron, the Heat versus San Antonio, and that was 2013.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. People forget about that because they only think about Ray Allen, right? But Braun
A
was
lot of
legendary
people
that
think
game.
that. I know a lot of people who believe that shot was game, who don't even realize it was an overtime after that shot, and
Yeah.
don't even know it was a game after that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Oh
that
yeah.
would be my. I like Brandon's approach of like closeout games. That I mean, but yeah,
So was it a T-Mac versus the Spurs where he had like 13 straight points and like what was it like
It
20
definitely
seconds?
was. T-Mac was on
he
the
was on Houston.
Rockets.
He was on Houston. He was on Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. T-Mac versus the Spurs, right? Yeah. I believe
yeah.
that was
That
crazy.
that's that 13 points in 33 seconds.
Yeah. I almost went
That
was it
that
two?
wasn't a playoff game, right?
No,
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 it
that
was.
was
that was regular season.
no, it wasn't. It was a regular season game.
Yeah,
I almost went 2001 Kobe versus the Kings. And was it game 2 when he had like 48 points, 16 rebounds because Shaq was in foul trouble and like it was just young Kobe was a menace. A menace.
yes, he was.
But yeah, LeBron had. I also almost went. I almost went 2009 LeBron versus the Magic, but it was that entire series he was amazing. But I like game 1 where he shot like 60% from the field, did it from 3, did it from everywhere, only minimal free throws, and he like led his team in assists and rebounds too. And it was just like you couldn't. That was to me LeBron's best year, if you're talking about just sheer domination, because that was when he still had almost no help. I mean, realistically speaking, and he was peaking like athletically. Maybe not like to the point where his game was completely polished the way it is now, especially from 3. But he still had every shot in the bag, just about. And like they had no answer for that man, none. That serious. He averaged like 40 points and like led his team and everything. Of course, he was wildly efficient. Like if he had, yeah, that game was tough. But that was probably one of my favorite LeBron series, honestly.
I would. I was finna say, I had never known what his point total was in this game. I was finna say Mike Bibby versus the Lakers when he was with Sacramento, and he only had 29 points, but he hit some dagger shots in that game, and I remember because they was putting everybody on Mike Bibby that game, and I can't tell y'all what game it was, but it was versus the Lakers, and Mike Bibby was they should have beat the Lakers. I mean, we all know why it happened with the ref in that series, but Mike Bibby it was his coming out party, and he had really showed off in that series. I mean, the Lakers put everybody on him. It also showed a little bit of Chris Webber not wanting the ball for the big time plays in that game because he kept just giving it to Mike Bibby, and I feel like Chris Webber had the mismatch as well, but he
Well,
just
on Ori, yeah, big time.
yeah. So it kept giving it Mike Bibby. So Mike Bibby is an honorable mention to me for that playoff series. It was that series right there, even though they lost. I love the way he played. He showed he was a great scorer in this league, and I just love watching that Lakers Sacramento season that year.
Dude, shout out to Bobby Jackson too. I think
yes.
I love that. Watch one of the most underrated players ever. I think that was a like, and think about like that. I always go back to that Portland team from like 2000, 2002. Like looking at the roster, it's just like insane because they had everyone. They had like a prime Rasheed Wallace. They had Steve Smith. They had like Scottie Pippen. Uh you had like Deadlift Shrimp. Like you had all these people. Like you could play small ball. They could shoot. They could defend. It was just a team that would be. It was almost constructed like kind of team you'd see today. Like bigs who could stretch the floor. Zach Randolph. Like they were just.
Well, teams have been trying to go small ball for years before it actually came to. Teams have been trying it. People don't recognize the Bulls was doing it in the late '90s with you can have Harper or Kurt, whatever guard you want, Jordan, Scotty, Kukoc, and Rodman.
Yeah,
that was small ball. Teams have been doing it, trying to get that big out, trying to open the game up, and teams have been trying it for a long time. And another game. I want y'all to tell me the years. Am I off? Is it 23 or 24? Golden State Warriors versus Sacramento, Game 7, first round of the playoffs, and Steph Curry went off for like 50 in that Game 7. Because they should have lost that series. They really should have lost it. And Steph Curry just really went off. I mean, he is so dangerous without the ball, and the attention he gathers even without the ball is amazing. And
did you see him in Game 1 versus Houston this year?
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I wanted to say a game this year, but yes, oh my God, they playing right now. You got Houston and Golden State playing right now, and Jimmy Butler's out for the game.
Yeah. Shit.
So I hope he ain't out long term. I hope it's a quick turnaround, and he just needed to sit out one game, and you don't want to hurt him for the series. So I hope it's a quick turnaround. I really don't know what's going on, but I know Houston is up 31-22. So
it's not going to surprise me if they lose because Butler was so big to their turnaround.
So he was huge.
Yeah. And Houston has that confidence now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So Houston do got confidence versus Golden State, and Jimmy was huge to that team because I don't think, and I'm being honest, if people think I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think Golden State was even going to be in the play-in game before they got Jimmy Butler. Remember, they was low as 10 before Jimmy got there, and they had raised up after they got Jimmy. I think they raised up as high as 5. I guess as high as 5 before they settled in at 7. But yeah, Jimmy it means I I knew it was the difference between Jimmy Butler and Wiggins. So when I make this statement, don't think I don't think it's a difference. I don't think at this point in Jimmy Butler's career, I didn't think that gap was so big and it was going to be such a difference. And for Golden State to have Wiggins and then trade him, just say the trade was Wiggins for Jimmy Butler. I know it was other
Yes.
parts involved. What Jimmy Butler has done for that team is amazing. And what it also shows me is that I'm going to expect this out of Jimmy Butler a lot because you saw what he was doing earlier this year with Miami.
Yep.
And I do feel like he quit on the team because you came right over to Golden State and I'm not saying you had these great scoring games, but what you meant for the team, what he did for that team, because I explained this on Go James Kingdom last week. What he does for them is that he allows Steph Curry to stay on the floor. So Steph Curry gets breaks, and what he does because they slow the game down because Jimmy Butler gets fouls, and the team is at the free throw line. Now Steph Curry get the rest while we are playing. So y'all shooting free throws, I can relax. I ain't running, and they get to play Steph Curry more minutes because he's actually resting while he's on the floor at the same time. So I love what he's been to that team, and I just didn't realize it was going to be that much of a difference between Jimmy Butler and Andrew Wiggins being on that team.
And like you think like Butler also brings like that swagger because he's been to the finals, like already a championship team, but he brings that extra, just confidence. They're like they can't lose. Like it's I mean, so he was also great at game 2, or that first game against Houston. But we'll see. Hopefully, he doesn't miss too much time.
How you feel about Mobley getting DPOY?
I mean, I think he deserved it because you saw. Not only was he great defensively, but like the impact that he had on the Cleveland was undeniable because they were like a top 5 defense all year, right? And like,
yes.
And I mean, people were saying Draymond Green, but like,
yes. I was hoping he win it because Draymond Green wasn't even in the conversation before Wemby got hurt.
Yeah,
and it felt like it was weak to me the way they just threw Draymond in there because.
I was like, what? Yeah, even Dyson Daniels, I think, deserved it over Green.
Yes. I think it was a couple of people over Draymond that I would have rather the conversation would have been about rather than Draymond. But I think he deserved it. He had a great season, and I appreciate guys like that playing hard on the defensive end and offensive end.
Yep, they just swept. Who they sweep?
It's such as. Miami.
Oh yeah. Expected. You called it.
Yes. Sweep. I told Johnny last week that Miami Heat gonna have the same amount of wins the Bulls have in the playoffs this year, which is 0.
I mean, I don't know why I thought that they might steal a game just because they don't match up well at all with Cleveland, and like, no. But I mean, this is going to be a rebuild time for them. So shout out to Lamont in the chat there and every one of them. So this is what I'm emphasizing, guys. Like, what you want to get just so because for the last couple of weeks, the person who's gotten the trivia question right has not come into our Discord, right, to say this is what I want to do. So we've had to kind of improvise. So let me reemphasize this. If you get our Discord, even if you don't get it, just hang out in the Discord by like Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday. Tell us what you want us to talk, like whatever topic you want, like this one, or if you want to debate one of us about a topic, like myself, John, or Brandon, you guys can put that in Discord. Pick the topic, and we'll just do a one-on-one debate, and we'll keep score or whatever. Just call one of us out, and just do it by just try to do it by at least Thursday, so we'll have time to prepare, get everything in order, and whether it's whether or not you want a one-on-one debate with us, or if you just want us to, take your topic and hash it out, chop it up like we just did today, that's what we'll do. And Lamont, the trivia question is, who was the first player to score over 50 in their first nationally televised game? Brandon asked that question. I don't know the answer
I don't
offhand.
know the answer. We just start throwing names out there. So that was a great question. I appreciate questions like that because it makes you think. To me, it has to be an '80s answer. So because you got to think national televised game, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great question. I think we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna get an answer.
I mean, Brandon dipped out, so I mean, Danny Mac says it's Will Chamberlain, so I don't know. It might be. That's a great question. I mean, or it's a great answer. I mean, who's to say it's not? And Peter Badges. So with the debate there, we're gonna. So this is what we're gonna do. I did not debate him yet. So if he still wants to debate, this is for King's Speech Row, right? Or whoever wants to debate me on Kobe versus LeBron. We're gonna do a hard reset right now. That person needs to come into our Discord, okay, and go. That my name is so and so in my chat, so we know who it is. I want to debate. Let's just, for example, Kobe versus LeBron. I want to debate T Perfect or John or whoever you want. We will do that on next week's show, okay? So that we're for sure doing that. We don't, if I don't hear from you or no one hears from you for a straight up week, we're going to assume that you're, not convicted or committed to it. So, Danny Max. So, Danny Mac, if you actually did Will Chamberlain, if that's the question, or if that's actually the answer, then come into our Discord, like officially on like Wednesday or Thursday, and say that, and we will do it. But we can do whatever you want, other guys. So, but yeah, the debate. If King Rose Speech wants to do it, King, just come into our Discord. Let me know, and we will set that up. But no, Peter, and Peter, I can't even give out the link because Brandon's gone.
Yeah. Can't even give out the link. So yeah, I want to know how y'all feel about the playoffs so far.
Yes.
I've been paying attention to that Pistons New York series. I think it's a good series. I think we got some good games going on. Like I said, I was just before we had got on live, I was just watching the Clippers and Denver play, which is such a great series, which is going 7. The Lakers and Minnesota is a good series. I think I was just telling Travis before we came on. I think that's going 7. I think we got some good series. I mean, we had 2 wipeouts from the number 1 seeds in Cleveland and OKC. They just, Memphis. Memphis showed some play today. I love the way Scottie Pippen Jr. was playing today. He had an amazing game. He showed that he has some value, and I expect him to really get some real good playing time next year with the season. But Memphis got wiped out, and sometimes I wonder, do they feel like they better without Ja? Because I think today was one of their best games of the series, and it felt like they belonged. But OKC was just too much for them today, and the series is over with. But
yeah, just real fast, King Speech. I'm down to go on to whatever platform you have, but like I said, just so we can set it up and so we can promote it and hype it up. If you want to debate on this show next week, just come and tell us that on Discord, or if you want me to go to your platform, just come in there also and tell me that, and then we'll set it up so we can get a little momentum going there, and we'll have time to do it up. But today, that's actually great. Yeah, no, I think you're right, John. This has been one of the best first rounds of continuous series that I've seen, aside for obviously the sweeps and stuff like that. But you're right. I think that I actually saw a video where they were talking about how maybe they are better without Ja Morant, minus the shenanigans, the ball movement, a little bit more. Lloyd Vaught played for the Clippers in his prime, Peter Badges.
and Danny Mac got the answer right.
Danny Mac did? Okay.
Yeah.
So Danny Mac.
It was 2 players who their first national televised game, they got 50 points. The answer was Will Chamberlain, January 3rd, 1965. And Vince Carter, first national televised game, he had 50 points, February 27th, 2000. So it was two players who their first national televised game, they scored 50 points. So Danny
Okay.
got the answer right. So I just wanted to let him know that he had got the answer right.
Awesome. So Danny Mac, come into our Discord by either Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday. I'd say latest Thursday, and tell us what you want to do. Tell us if you, because I don't think you've ever come on the chat or the panel rather. But if you want to debate one of us, or if you just want to give us that topic that you said, just put that in the Discord, and we'll do it. Yeah. So that was a crazy. I know. I mean, might there be better without him? I mean, it's just I think he needs to perfect his jump shot, but so they can like stretch the floor. But I'm really anxious to see like what this Clippers Nuggets series ends up being, because I mean, I don't think that the Clippers or the Nuggets have any business winning that series. Not with their defense, like they have no coach, and like this is like probably the worst I've seen his supporting cast play all year.
Yes,
It's just like you like what's not Jamal Murray, but Kevin Porter Jr. Has played like he's shot like
Michael Porter Jr.
or Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, shot like 9 for 26. Like for the first like 3 games, like he was trash, and like they're paying him $40 million a year.
Yeah,
like, just
I was looking at he did an interview once, and they were showing highlights of him in high school and his game, and which is totally different league. He said the back injury actually kind of made him change his game, because to me sometimes he has no impact on the game.
Yeah,
and it's just like, why did they decide to give you that contract? I'm not saying he didn't deserve to get paid, because I think he's a good player, but
he has the potential. He just disappears, a
lot though. He disappears a lot, and it just to me sometimes if he ain't scoring, he literally isn't doing that. Which he's 6'9", 6'10". He could be a hell of a rebounder. Even with the back injuries, you're so tall.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he can impact the game in other ways, and he chooses not to. It's like if he's not scoring, he literally isn't. He doesn't belong on the court, and I don't like that. I don't like it.
Yeah, it just seems like he play like it seems like he's scared sometimes. Like when he's hesitant with his shots. Sometimes he'll be otherworldly. Like when it should be like he's a big, lanky stretch forward. He has length. He's fast. He should be out there dominating. Like I want to see him take 15, 16 shots a game, but he's he's just hesitant. A lot of times, and it's just like you see him. It's like he should be the number 2, honestly, on that team.
Hey,
like with his makeup. So.
With the way Cade Cunningham is playing, we're going to have a lot of conversations about him in the future. Trust me.
Yeah, I think Pistons win that series.
Choice but to talk about Cade Cunningham real soon, man, because that boy can play. I love his height. I love his angles in play. I love how he get his points. I love him on the defensive side because he can be a hell of a defender as well. I love his game. He has an overall game, and I love the way Cade Cunningham play. I hope he keep working at it on his game, and I hope he don't start because he can really play ball.
Yeah, I think Pistons win that series. Honestly,
I called that. I mean, we had talked about it before the series, before the playoffs started. I said I think Detroit gonna beat New York. I said that. So,
yeah. Because, I mean, they match up well. I mean, if it's hard, obviously you can't really neutralize Brunson, but, like, it's, I think they have the dogs to match up and, like, they play physical. They just need to, hit their shots. I mean, it's just like, yeah, Cunningham, I think he will be a top 5 player, like Lamont says here. But I think they can, I think Pacers take care of Bucks in 6, and then we'll go from there, but I don't know. That's gonna be
that series is crazy to me too because I felt like the Bucks was. I felt like before the series started, I felt like the Bucks was gonna win even without Dame. but I was totally off on it. I know what the Pacers bring to the game. It was no slight on them. I just thought the Bucks was too big for them, and that it seemed like that height isn't helping, and they need to take the center off. They need to put Giannis at that 5 and play. I mean, even though he's tall, play small ball in a way
Yeah.
because I don't know, man.
Yeah, I know John mentioned me about the trivia question. Did you guys talk more about it?
Oh yeah. Danny Max says it's Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, I forgot to put the only two players when I did it.
Okay.
Yeah, but Wilt was one of them. Let me put it back on there. There's two players who did it. I already let John know about the other player.
Who was the other player? Are you gonna?
I could give it to you on Facebook.
Okay.
Let me see. Well, I could put it in the private chat too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Johnny chat there. It is going to be a long first round because, like, you look at some of these series we thought were going to be sweeps, right?
It was only 2 series I thought was going to be it was one I thought could be a sweep, and that ended up being a sweep. Miami and Cleveland, which I told you, Johnny, was going to be a sweep. I told you the Miami Heat was going to have the same amount of playoffs wins as the Bulls had, which was a sweep. And I thought OKC would sweep Memphis, and that game one when they won by 50 was the difference. Even though I felt like more game 2 was just a backbreaker for Memphis, even though they only won by 19. I just love the way OKC played there. It was just like it felt like a pro team playing against a college team. And
yeah, that was nuts. When they came back from 30 down, I was like, you can't do that. To answer it, Johnny, we are gonna debate but there was no communication between us this week, so I told him to go into our Discord or whatever. I'll hit him up with his info, I guess, and we're gonna set it up for next week, either on one of our platforms, just so we can discuss the format or whatever, and we will for sure do it next weekend.
Johnny, you supposed to be up here today. Somebody told me you were supposed to be up here today. Are you scared to come up here? I mean, are you too busy for us today? I mean, if that's what you're about, Johnny, just let us know. But yeah,
I told him, I was like, Brand says he's able to hop up here.
Yeah. He did say that.
Yeah, Kingspeak, give us that email, or dude, Discord's really easy, man. You just get in there, or hit us up on Facebook. We're all there. Or send your info to a Johnny, whatever you want to do. But we will for sure do it just so we can set up the whatever.
Just so everybody know, it's halftime now with the Rockets and Golden State. Rockets is up 49-46.
Ooh, competitive.
So yeah, still keeping it close.
Dude, so the Lakers wasted a great game from LeBron last night, obviously. I mean, obviously Luka wasn't himself.
Yes.
But I don't know. You think Lakers win game 4?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have a choice. I mean,
yeah.
Are you trying to go back home down 3-1 and with the confidence Minnesota will have walking into LA, because they already won 1 game in LA and they would have won 2 games in Minnesota. So I expect the Lakers to come out and take care of their business, go back to LA up tied 2-2, going back to LA, hopefully take care of home court advantage. But at this point, I think this series going. Let me rephrase. I hope this series going 6-7. That's what I'm hoping at this point, that they're going 6-7. So,
I mean, if it's game 7, I mean, I think the Lakers win that. I think because the Wolves want to close it out at their place if possible, right?
Yeah.
But it's tough. The Lakers are going to have to because LeBron's locked in. Obviously, I mean, he played a great. I don't think he'll do that again. Next, but who knows? You know, they usually go for a reason. So
Yeah, I mean, he has it in him.
yeah,
I think Luka need to take over the series a little bit more, become himself. Uh, you got somebody, he got somebody riding with him. So do his thing. I mean, let's go. I mean, I don't get the problem.
no, yeah. It's just I think when you look at it, like they were playing well. It's just that I mean, they need to do a much better job on the boards. Like there was, you can't let Julius Randle be efficient and dominate. It just, but there was a lot of stuff that went wrong. Yeah, but
McDaniels is having a series though, man. So
yeah,
I love the way he's playing this series. So he really having a series, and
yeah, and that's actually a great question from GoCast. Too. I think that you're going to move on from one of them too, right? Like Bane or Ja. Like I don't think he'll trade Ja Morant, but it's really. I mean, you can't keep that same crew, right? Because they're all going to want to get paid. Uh, and no, Herm's right. Herm's right. LeBron's 38 last night is not the. You're right because he would have like been locking people down. You know, block, but that's
Go Cavs. Just think about this lineup they putting out there. They got three small guards. Three small guards. And the biggest one before as height may be Ja. So I think Bane may be a trade piece over this summer. Because he got the contract to go get somebody.
mhm.
I think Bane is a cool player. I like him. Uh, like I said, I love the way Scottie Pippen Jr. played today.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
But I think if they're going to be successful in the future, you gotta make that backcourt. You got to do something with it. And I think you attack it with Bang because you sure ain't trading Ja. Uh, um, you right, Herm. He hasn't improved his game. Do you think the shoulder injury from last year has messed that up because you got the suspension? Then he ended up having a shoulder injury. So has that set him back some and improving his game? So
Yeah, I mean, there's been huge criticism, right, about his lack of a consistent jumper. You know, like he's all slash and whatever. But I mean, I would keep Bane. I like Desmond Bane. I think that he's a good. I think he's cerebral defensively. He doesn't bring as much baggage to the locker room. You know, on a
yeah,
season by season. And I mean, I don't think Ja's a generational talent, dude. Like,
no, I don't. I used to think
yeah,
it, and I think he made a couple of mistakes, and he hasn't changed anything. He hasn't got better. He hits the floor too much, and you
yeah,
see it, and it's them hitting the floor so much is gonna cause injuries and set him back. Because if he can't get to the basket, because he hasn't improved that mid-range shot, what is he gonna be able to do special out there on the court? Because right now his athleticism was what make him special.
mm-hmm.
So
Oh
if he
yeah, yeah, exactly. And like, he, you know, kind of reminds me of like C. Francis a little bit.
facts,
Because
yes.
but Francis like had a pretty decent jumper, you know, like
Yes, he
back in
did.
his day.
He did. So I do want to know what Memphis is going to decide to do with this team. I think they got a
Hmm.
lot of decisions to make this off season.
They have a good core, you
Yeah.
know.
How you like Jaron Jackson Jr.?
I
How
like
do
him. I think he's lanky. I think he's finds good shots. I think he's good defensively. Uh, he's a prototypical stretch, you know. I mean I would pay him more. He probably just want a bag. Uh, you can tell he's good down the stretch, or he can take over like when they need it to. Uh,
I think he need to be a better rebounder.
yeah.
If I'm going to criticize him, some I need as a rebounder. I expect more out of him.
So does
Uh,
Edie.
yes, facts. I think he's gonna get better. I think he had a solid rookie year, and uh, I want to see more out of him this next year and see what goes from there. Because they questioned the pick. A lot of people questioned that pick before the season started, and I think he showed his value this season, and that he can be a good player going on. I think he can be a solid player in
Hmm.
the NBA. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, he's tall. I think he has some. He just needs to be a little bit more physical. I think like he can't let people who are a foot short of him box him out.
well,
But
Hearn, you would know more down there in Memphis about John more liking the lifestyle more because trust me, you know when you in the cities and you hear about players because being here being here in Chicago, we used to hear about Twan. Twan was known about around the city, and Eddie Curry used to hear them. They used to party a lot. So trust me, when you in the city and you know some of these players with a lifestyle. So hey, if you locked in like that with Ja and know he likes the lifestyle better, hey, some of these guys don't take the NBA as important as they should, and it seems like they learn later in life trying to want to be an example to other guys instead of doing it the right way. Why it's your turn? And maybe Ja don't have the right people in his ear trying to get him to go in the right way because I think he a hell of a talent. I agree with Travis when he said I don't think he's a generational talent, but he can work hard and you can
mhm.
still be a great player because I don't think Steph Curry came in the NBA as a generational talent, but he's a generational player now because of hard work. So
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's a lot of it. We've seen that with a lot of players, right? They come in like unpolished, but then like you could tell they put it in. They don't
yeah,
flame out. They don't melt down. There's a lot of players like that. You can go down the list here, but yeah, Curry is a fantastic example. I mean, a lot of that's God given talent eventually, but
yeah, yeah. So I mean, but it comes
but
with hard work, and you can
yeah,
tell Steph Curry because he had the little ankle injuries early on in his career. He didn't know what he was going to be able to do in his career, so he worked hard. I got the right people around and strengthened them ankles, and found out probably the right foot exercises to do. So um, some guys work hard, they take it serious, and you can tell that it shows on the court. Just like I know I keep bringing up Scottie Pippen Jr. Do anybody not think that young man has not been working hard on his game?
yeah, right. It was like he had especially from last season to this season,
Yes,
crazy jump.
but he got some playing time last year because you remember because John ended up getting hurt, so he ended up playing, getting some experience out there on the court. So he had a chance to really be out there playing, learning some of his weaknesses, learning his strength, learning what he got to do. So when the off season comes, he know what he need to work on. And you can tell over the summer he was really working on some of his weakness because he's really been playing ball and he's forced himself in the starting lineup because they
Hmm.
couldn't keep him on the bench. So uh,
Yeah, I mean he's like he really worked on his shot a lot. You can tell that. Like obviously he has that defense to live up to, but yeah, he's been like a revelation for them. And I mean I think in a lot of ways what the Memphis front office was doing was like viewing this playoffs as a tryout for them to see who they can who they really want to reach out to, give some bags to, because they knew they weren't going to win. I mean,
yeah, but they was
so
up. They was high as a four. Was there a 2 seed at one point this year?
they were a 2 seed. Then they did some like I think that was earlier in the year, but then the rest was just so packed. I mean they did not want to see OKC. That's what happened. They did not want to see. I mean, no one did, but them especially.
I think they wanted to play Memphis. I think
Yeah.
they wanted to play Memphis. That's why that
Well,
playing game was versus Golden State was such a great game because they was trying to get that 7 seed so they didn't have to play OKC. I believe Memphis went all out in that game, saying
mhm.
we don't want to play OKC. So
OKC looks unbeatable. I mean, if you because SGA was trash like the first 3 games of that
yes,
series,
he was. Yes, he
and
was.
like they just have such depth and such balance. Like they. I think Lou Dort is one of the most underrated players in the league today. Uh, he's the one. I mean, but they have just. You saw what Chet did, right? Like when they
Yeah.
came back from 30, that was nuts. Like you want all that happening, and like it's. We'll see. I mean, obviously, I don't think that SGA can play like that against some of the
Hey,
better teams, but
everybody who in their 40s in the chat, I want y'all to think about this. Think about a 7-footer handling the ball on a fast break, throwing a no look pass for a layup. That's what Shaq did today. Okay, which I'm not saying a 7-footer couldn't do. He felt so comfortable doing it, like it was something he would do all the time. It wasn't like he was being tentative doing it. He was very comfortable on that fast break, throwing a no look pass. And I mean, I think it's a different NBA, and I think people need to recognize you're going to see some really tall men do some amazing things in this league. And I really do believe as long as some of these guys take it serious, the NBA is going to be very safe. And it's not going to be one face of the league anymore. You're going to have many faces of the league. But
Facts.
with
Yeah.
this talent that's in the NBA that we really get to see in the playoffs, I think so far, I think this league is going to be okay because I
There's too
think
much parity.
great players.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's because there's so many players to market, and like, One Boy has a great point because yeah, Ant-Man he's been doing other things. Obviously, like rebound, I think Ant-Man has been dictating the offense very well for the first 3 games, especially in game one. McDaniels has been there though. That's the reason. Like I said before the series started, the only way they're going to win is because you need that third guy, third guy in Minnesota to be like consistent, and he's been that. He's been great defensively. He's been great offensively too. At least in those 2 of the 3 games, there it's been amazing to see. Like, because he's been aggressive. He knows there's no one on that team who can check him. To match up with him 1-on-1, and he's been that guy. He's been almost the same. The reason they're winning, I think. I think that what's his name, Naz Reid had a bounce back game yesterday too, but
Yeah.
Naz Reid, I think, is the key. Like so he goes like if he plays well because he's like their true stretch like 3. Like he's big enough to play defense on like guys like LeBron and Luka, quick enough, and he can stretch the floor. So he needs to be aggressive. But McDaniels has been amazing.
Yeah, when Minnesota traded Cat, I thought Naz Reid was the reason they traded him because they felt safe with having Naz Reid. I didn't think he was as good as Cat, but I think he was solid, really solid. And I believe one of the reasons they traded Cat is because of his contract, because he was going to always ask for max.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be the highest paid player, but the second best player on the team. And because Ant-Man was definitely the best player, but I always thought Naz Reid was the difference in Minnesota. So I think as long as he a consistent number 2, I think Minnesota can be real solid. But McDaniels is the X factor in this series so far because he's been a difference to me in this whole series. He's been a consistent difference in the series. So I love how he's playing. So
I love how aggressive he's being too. Like he's getting it. He's not settling. Like he'll get to the basket. Like he'll hit jumpers. He'll go into the teeth because he knows there's not like a Rudy Gobert type shot blocker back there. So they're if they can keep it up, like obviously they can't have poor shooting night. They need to be like that, but their defense is doing a lot of things to take certain people out of the game. Like you'll live with contested threes from Austin Reeves and LeBron. You'll live with that.
yeah.
But yeah, you don't want to have LeBron going downhill all night facilitating, which is what he was doing last night. But everyone else got kind of clamped down. But it was. I think the bounce back is like it's a chess game right now.
Yeah, it is, and I think they're going back and forth, making adjustments. That's why I think the Lakers will win Game 4 because they're going to adjust to what Minnesota did Game 3. So I think the winner of Game 4 is going to win the series. So if Minnesota win Game 4, I think Minnesota's going to win the series. If the Lakers win Game 4, I think the Lakers are going to win the series. I think the key at this point is Game 4 because how many times can you adjust at this point? Each team know what each team is going to do.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that's when a series is great, right? There's no secrets. You just go out there and play. Comes down to. But I mean, it would be so amazing if the Nuggets came back and won that series, like versus the Clippers, because Because then it's like they'd be underdogs, right, all the way through.
Yeah, they'll be underdogs because you think OKC will be underdog versus the Clippers?
No, no. I mean, they wouldn't be underdog because I just don't think that. I love Harden, but he's not gonna. I don't think he'd be good enough to carry them through there. I mean, Kawhi's gonna do his thing, but that would be a great matchup, SGA on Kawhi if he's healthy. But I think they would be underdogs just because OKC has done nothing but be amazing this year, and I mean they've. There's no reason to believe that it would just suddenly let down in the playoffs. Obviously, I'm not going to measure them against Memphis,
Okay.
but yeah, you can't. But I can't wait to see because they're going to face the winner of Golden State and Houston, right? So,
No, OKC faces the winner
oh no, OKC and
of the Clippers.
Denver Clip.
Denver, yeah.
So one thing's for sure is they're going to have a lot of time off right now, right? Because they're done with that series. That series looks like it might go 7.
Yes, yes.
So we'll see. They're going to be watching. I think they match up way better against Denver myself because Denver doesn't play any defense and they're fantastic at stretching the floor. So we'll see.
Yeah, trust me, OKC would prefer to play Denver, but I still think it's gonna be the Clippers. I believe the Clippers took their foot off their necks today. They should be a 3-1, but hey,
Well, yeah, Denver isn't going to blow Clippers out in any games.
yeah.
Yeah, not at all because I mean they're scrapping and fighting, but I didn't watch that game today. I have to go watch and rewatch it, but
Yeah, I watched it. It was it was a tight game, and Denver stretched it out. And I promise, the Clippers kept doing the same play. Norman Powell was on the baseline hitting that corner jumper, and they had the James Harden. They had kind of went away from Kawhi, and it was all James Harden, Norman Powell. He brought them all the way back. I love the way they was playing, and I think it shows something in this series. I think the Clippers gonna go to a couple of plays in this series because I think it's the right matchup for them. And I think Clippers should go ahead. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Clippers gonna win the next 2 games, and it'd be over in 6. And OKC they probably had a lot of days off before they play the Clippers. So I think the Clippers gonna win the next 2 games. I think it's gonna go 6, and it'd be the end of that series. So
they very well might. I mean, there's no reason they should lose. I mean, they're better almost across every facet. Like it's just, I can't believe. I don't even know if Jokic resigned. Like the rumors are that he does resign, but I mean, I wouldn't blame I wouldn't blame him if he wants to get out. We'll see.
I mean, he resigns because I think you're dumb to not sign the extension with your team because you can get the most money there.
Yeah.
It's the question would be once he signs and he plays that one more year, will he want to trade after that? It wouldn't be surprised to me if they do because I think Giannis might be heading that direction with Milwaukee as well. So,
yeah, because they put in their time, right? They've each been there for 10 plus years.
Yeah. So they asking for some solid teams around him and no arguing in management. And you want the team to go in this direction, the coach and the GM want this team to go in the direction, then both of y'all get fired. It's just.
And I think it'd be good. I mean, movement is good for the league too, I think, because then you have like different combinations, different possibilities. It keeps things fresh a little bit. But I mean, where would Jokic go? Like, who could afford him? Like, where does he fit in? Obviously, I think he could fit in most every team,
Because you got to think you have to think if you trade somebody like Joker, what Denver's going to be asking for, and what's going to be left with the team after you trade him. And the honest answer, the team with the most assets out there is OKC. I always feel like if OKC don't win a championship next year, they're going to get a big player this summer.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, how many first round picks they got, which is crazy. So I think they can get a veteran player. I think it's another nice city that Joker would love to play in. It's not a big city. Uh, he could just play ball. It's a college atmosphere down there. OKC.
you'd have OKC or you'd have a Joker and SG on the same team. That would be gross. Like what?
Yeah, but I think you asked some good places. I mean, I think it's some teams who would look good with them don't have the assets.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Like you'd have to give up, especially if it's like a sign and trade. Like they're gonna be, you would gut your team, right? Like
Got your team up, yeah.
yeah. Danny Mac says Nuggets fall into the abyss. They lose Joker. Yes, they do. They're already in the abyss whenever he's not on the floor. Like you have, I mean, you have the most inconsistent team around him. Like they have a garbage bench, and they have like what did their bench score like 6 points the other day? And I lost. It's trash. And Jamal Murray is wildly inconsistent. So is MPJ. I mean, Aaron Gordon's fine sometimes when he's playing, but he's just You need some bigger dogs on that team, especially on the bench, dude.
To be honest, let me tell you why Joker averaged a triple double this year. Because he needed to.
Yeah, he had to.
He needed to. He needed to be the best scorer, the best rebounder. He's a great passer, so he gonna dish it out to being a playmaker, and he led the team in steals. He literally had to do it.
Yeah, he was top 3 in the league in steals.
Yes. So he averaged a triple double because he needed that just to be a 4 seed.
Yeah. Did you see that crazy number, Sean? Like there was like their pure on off or whatever. Like I guess whenever he wasn't playing, they were like -8, and then when he was playing, they were +11. So when he was playing, the Nuggets were like a top 5 offense in the league, and when he wasn't playing, they were like they were like the 5th worst team in the league.
Crazy.
It's just like that kind of a thing has never been seen across anything. For like, I think the record was like something Jordan did back in the 80s, but it was just like you see his value, and like it's just crazy. Like they had no business being the 4th seed.
No, they really did. They really did, and he played a lot of minutes this year. He played very well. He played like an MVP should play. And I want everybody to know I love SGA. I think he should have won MVP last season. If you ever heard me speak, I spoke that SGA should have won MVP last year. But there's no doubt who was the MVP this year. And that was Joker.
Yeah.
Easy.
I mean, and that's why you hate to see, like, it's just so, I wish there was like something a little bit more concrete for like they had to measure up for the MVP, because if this season doesn't win MVP, then basically stats should never be considered again.
No,
it should be like there should be something to say, okay, no, we're not going to look at stats ever, because this is like the best statistical season of all time, like by any and all measurement, right?
Just think about this. If you're telling me Joker can't win MVP this year, you're telling me he's not going to win. You literally telling me he's not going to win any more MVPs.
Yeah, exactly.
If he win MVP this year, what could he do more to win MVP?
Nothing. Like when the first time in history anyone's ever finished top 4 in or top 3 in like the 4 major statistics, or 4 of the major statistics, like points, rebounds, assists, steals, and he did so on the best shooting splits of all time for a center, and he is a triple double, and like the best like he had like the best analytics of all time. It's like,
I think okay. I think the NBA has said the most MVPs you're going to win is 3. I believe sometimes the NBA have agendas about what the most you could do. Facts. For example, LeBron James won his last MVP. He was 28 years old. 28. He had won 4 out of 5 MVPs, and the NBA said that's what we maxing you out at. You're not going to win no more MVPs. That's it.
Yep. And yeah, Danny Mac, Will should have won that year too. Who won that? Like Bill Russell?
Bill Russell won.
Yeah, and he was averaging like 14 points and 20 boards. Like, yeah, the stats are just, it's all about the narrative. Like, what's the
I think
narrative?
Oscar Robinson had his first triple-double year that year as well.
He did.
Oscar had his triple-double season that year as well. And they gave it to Bill Russell.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just showing that like there's not really ever a consistent, like more and more it's gravitating toward the like best player and best team, you know, which I think is stupid, but you know, it's how it goes, how, you know, it's like, and obviously SGA is having a great season. There's no doubt about that.
Yes,
But
no doubt. Yes.
But it's just like, you know, I think Giannis had a better season than SGA.
Yes,
like,
he did.
So it's okay. Like, and I mean, so if we're not using stats or team impact, and SGA like has a much deeper roster than either Oklahoma State has a much deeper roster than Denver or Milwaukee. So, I mean, it's what is it? Like those things aren't really considered. You can tell when they're looking at MVP because they're just looking at superficial. Like they're basically just looking at wins and losses. So, you know,
I think it was 2 seasons LeBron could have won MVP. That was 2018 and 2020. I think that was 2 seasons LeBron could have won MVP, and those were the two. James Harden won it in 2018, and Giannis won it in 2020. Those are the 2 years. If I'm going to pick 2 more years, LeBron could have won it. It's definitely those 2 years. And honestly, I'm from Chicago, and I'm a big Derrick Rose fan, but I believe LeBron should have won it in 2010 as well.
Yeah, in 2018 or 2011.
Yeah, 2011. So
yeah, I mean it's tough to say. Like I think that he definitely had better stats than Rose, you know, but it's just to me, I don't know if. But just like I think, like when you look at DPY, I think Duncan was robbed in 2013. But I mean,
I just don't understand how you give it to, even if Marc Gasol don't. I don't understand how Marc Gasol wins it. When I don't even believe he's the best defender on his team.
He wasn't the best defender on his team.
So I just don't. I mean, sometimes you see some of these things going on, and just like my guy Shedeur should not be a 5th round pick. Oh my God,
that was crazy, man. To the Browns.
Yes, to the Browns. And I think somebody called the Browns because the Browns had just drafted another quarterback. And it was like, I believe the call was made begging to draft Shedeur. So if the Browns don't draft him, it's like he go further in the draft, which is crazy. But
yeah, I mean that's. I mean, I think that they've got to get rid of Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Who was Tony Allen? Peter Badges? Tony Allen was the best defender that Kobe Bryant has ever seen, according to him.
Yes. And he's from Chicago. Just
so you didn't
Kevin Durant. I'm letting you know Tony Allen from the shot.
Yeah, Tony Allen was maybe the most underrated defender of all time. It's amazing. Like, yeah, who was Durant and Kobe said he was the best?
Yeah.
Crazy. That's high praise.
Two of the top scorers ever in the history of the game. So, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're just like, okay, when those guys call you up, and Kobe even sent them shoes that said that. It was awesome. But that team, I think people forget how stacked defensively that Memphis team was in 2013. Like they had prime Mike Conley, Tony Allen. I mean, Gasol was fine, but like they have like they had a bunch of great defenders.
Yes, I loved it. Was Rudy Gay still there?
I think Rudy Gay was still there.
So he was a tall. He had length on him. So I used to love Rudy Gay's game because he was almost unguardable on that left shoulder turnaround. So, So,
yeah,
that Memphis team, and sometimes I feel like they tried to build this Memphis team like that Memphis team. Try to be a groundhouse type team, a defensive type team.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they tried to build this team, like they did, like they had that team back then.
Oh yeah, they had Zach Randolph, Tayshaun
Yeah,
Prince. Yeah, was there still. Tony Allen. You're right. Rudy Gay was there. Gasol, Mike Conley. Just a bunch of dogs defensively. Like they had Keon Dooling was there. Ellington. Yeah, they they had four different players who got DPOY votes. That's nuts. Uh,
Unlocked. Side door open.
really crazy.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, Grindhouse boy. I remember that Memphis had a solid team. I was really upset with them when they traded Rudy Gay out of there because I thought he was a good player, a really good player for them, man. It could change the series for them, man. But hey, it
Peter
is.
Bagger says he was who, in our opinion, was the most impactful defender on the grid. So, I mean, I think that he's asking us, John, who we think, in our opinion, was the most impactful defender on that team in 2013. I still think it was Tony Allen because he was getting the tough assignments, right?
Yes.
Like, because that was still a super, like, you got a bunch of prime goats, perimeter wise, in there he had to defend.
Yeah, he was defending the best wing every game. Every game. He was the one going out of there. So, I mean, you're getting the high praises from some of the GOATs during that time saying, hey, he the best defender. So,
yeah.
Not all the time I listen to players, but it's certain things I listen to players about. And I think Tony Allen was one of them dudes. He had an impact. He had an impact on that Boston team, and he definitely had an impact on that Memphis team, man. I think Tony Allen was the difference.
I don't see how you can't say it. So I guess he was guarding prime Braun, prime KD.
Yes.
Kobe was still having a great season that year. CP3 was there. You had Paul George, Paul Pierce, like all these players. Anthony was still there. So you had so many players that he would just have to match up with because it was no longer just dumping into your big man, let him go to work, But that was
wings, shooting guards, and point guards. Whoever the best wing was out there, that's who Tony Allen was guarding. If you had a scoring wing, hey, Tony Allen guarding you, and you're going to have a long night. That's not saying you won't have 30, but you might have 30 on 30 shots. So, that's his job to
that's
make
what you
it
want.
tough on you. And if you average 30, cool. But you're going to have to take 30 shots to get that 30.
Yeah. Jamal Crawford, exactly. Jamal Crawford was there. Jamal Crawford, shout out, underrated. He was also a great defender in Boston. Yeah, I mean, he got passed around, but he was amazing. Pretty much wherever he went. He was, I mean, that team was pretty low. I mean, Zach Randolph was good. I mean, Gasol was a good defender, but he was nowhere near a DPOY. He was just like he won it off like the advanced stats, but they didn't really account for how good the team was, and it wasn't because of him, like primarily. So, I mean, people say LeBron should have won it. That's fair. I think Tim Duncan should have won it, but they were both better than Marc Gasol that year. For sure.
I want to know from anybody in the chat what games of these playoffs do y'all like watching? What's the series that you got to watch that you feel like is a hot series that you paying attention to? Like I'm really paying attention to this Denver Clipper series. This is my series that I wanted to watch. I said that before the playoffs started, and I haven't been disappointed in that series at all. So what's the series that you're paying attention to that's going on right now that you like watching? And it's one of the reasons you like the NBA watching basketball. So I want to know that. Hey, I like that. I like that Warriors Rockets series. I think it's gonna be a good series. I think as a young series versus experienced season. I love watching that series. It's a great game. I really think the Rockets got a lot of confidence winning that game late in the season versus Golden State when they held Steph Curry to 3 points. I think it gave them a lot of confidence. So if they got matched up versus Golden State, they feel like they can win that series. So I think that's a hell of a series.
That's facts. I've watched every one of the Knicks Detroit games too. That's been a war zone.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how they just happens to be on like when I'm able to watch it. I've watched every game. Obviously, Knicks Pistons has been there. Lakers Wolves has been pretty high drama. I think uh, I've watched the ones I haven't. I haven't. I watched. I didn't watch the last two Nuggets Clippers just because I've been at work, but I
Okay.
followed them, and I think we have so many great series, and the next round matchups are going to be crazy. I think.
Yeah, that's it's crazy because I think the Pistons is the I think the coach for the Knicks he would love to coach a team like the Pistons.
Mhm.
He will run them to death. Trust me. Everybody, all fast starters will play 40 plus minutes per game. He is not playing no bench. So,
Nope.
so
I want to see. I mean, I really want to see. I feel like it's inevitable. Cleveland, Boston. Oh
yeah,
God,
I think
let's
it's
do
gonna
it.
happen. I thought Boston could have uh held them back one more game just to make sure their wrist injury was okay. So I guess they feel like it was okay enough to hit and play. Because I think it's a series. I think they're going to get done with Orlando kind of quick, and it's going to be over. That experience gap. Because I actually think Orlando. I like Orlando team. I think the injuries just kind of messed them up this year. Kind of messed up their rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
How it's going to come with a game and just getting the experience out on the floor, being out there together, and knowing what each other going to do, what they expect from each other. So I think injuries hurt Orlando. So I expect them to have an even better year next year. Hey, I'm calling it right now. I think Orlando Magic gonna be a top three seed in the East.
I'm bandwagoning on the Magic. They're going to be my favorite team going forward, just
So
because I love Bankero's game,
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
and he willed that team to victory yesterday.
So
Crazy.
so
That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, if they just need another shooter on that team, right? Like,
They had brought KCP over there for that. But KCP is an inconsistent shooter. I think he can get hot at times.
mm-hmm.
They was trying to get a veteran over there who's had some experience, and
They can get Durant.
I
It's
think it's a
fine.
good move. But Durant is going somewhere, but I think Phoenix is going to be asking for a lot. I mean, I said this to a friend of mine, and people are back and forth, but I just said OKC has the most assets.
Yeah.
They can trade first round picks and a young player and still keep most of the good players there and have a KD. So is KD willing to go back to OKC? That'd be his choice. But
Yeah, I mean, you also got to think I think a lot of teams now more than ever are worried about their chemistry. They don't want because look at what happened to Phoenix, right? They just put three big names there and they're trash because they played no defense. They're all prima donnas. I get it. Booker was there before them, but Beal was maybe one of the worst deals
yeah, it
acquisitions
really
in
was.
history.
It really was. It really was.
Yeah, and I think he's wildly overpaid. Durant is just there for a check. You can tell there's no intensity, especially defensively. Um, Durant. Durant at this point needs to go. I mean, if he wants a ring, right, he needs to go to a place where great defensive team already check, right, and where he's not the only option. He can be maybe the second option. And yeah, OKC's perfect for that. If
I
they,
believe OKC is the only place he can go where they won't have to rip most of the team up and they
Mhm.
still have a solid team with adding him. Because of course you're going to lose a piece here, there with trading for him. But OKC has so many first round picks that I think you can add a lot of these first round picks to that trade to get a Durant and you
Mhm.
won't have to mess up the team. So that's your point. They'd be still good defensively adding the KD, and they will have a second scorer out there with KD because I think Shea is the number one scorer, and I think KD would be the number two scorer, and they can cover him defensively out there because they have some good defensive guys out there.
Mhm. Yeah, that'd be gross. Yeah, KD wouldn't have to be a stopper or anything. He just play marginal. Yeah, that would be a perfect fit for him. And be yeah, and I want to see what kind of a rebuild happens in Phoenix because they're gonna have to tear that thing down, man. Like,
It's gonna be a
the,
long rebuild. Are y'all ready to move on from Devin Booker? is it time to do? Because don't trade KD and Bill and keep Booker there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I believe if you're going to trade them, I think you should just tear up the team and go from there. I don't even think y'all got any young pieces for the future there. Y'all just gonna be really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta tear the team down and start over. And that might be what they have to do. It's time for Booker to go somewhere. Trade him off earlier while he's still in his prime under contract. You can get the most for him and go from there.
Yeah, that's when you got when the iron's hot. Yeah, you got to get rid of him because like he's not going to give you anything. Like they're going to be injured all the time, and you just sucking up your salary cap. It's going to be insane. And I've been a diehard Orlando Magic fan since this year. So
Yeah, me too. I've
you
been paying attention.
know.
I've been paying attention to Orlando. So when them two went down with injuries this year, I was really upset because I thought they could be a top 3 seed this year.
hmm Just a
So
couple more shooters, man. That's all. That's all they need because their defense is on point.
yeah,
You know,
I
but
thought they was better than New York. I thought they was. I think they started off a little slow, but I thought they would pick it up, and I thought they'd be a top 3 seed this year. That's why I'm saying they're gonna be a top 3 seed next year, because outside the injuries, I think they're a top 3 seed in the NBA. So
yeah, in the NBA. Oh yeah, that, I mean that's not a hot take, and that's actually very doable.
so hey, watch out for Orlando. They can be scary for a lot of people, and um, hey, I promote doing trying to win. My team in Chicago here, Chicago Bulls. I have no idea. So if you used to ask me what my Bulls are planning on doing, I have no idea. No,
I think the Bulls are in a good place, man, because like they proved they can play. You know, they got rid of Levine and other guys are stepping up. Right? They just need, I think, that other like one other. Uh, what? Not like they're just shooters, but just one other maybe guy who can, like a Jaden McDaniels or something like that, right?
yeah, yeah.
And
He'd
low
be
cost.
he'd be nice with the Bulls, but like I said, I always feel like the Bulls make decisions. I'll tell you this: I think they had made plans to be a good team. They had got Lonzo Ball at the
hmm
point, and they
Giddy has come alive this season.
yeah, Giddy really came alive. I like that piece. I think he can. I think he can be real solid from the team, and I just want to see what their plans with Kobe White is, and
Yeah.
is he gonna be long term for the Bulls, or are they gonna move on from Patrick Williams has been a bust for the Bulls.
No.
I think it's time to move on from him, but he don't have a big contract, but he don't have one of them contracts that you call other teams and see you won't, because teams probably look at him like if he in the last year's contract, I think teams would go for it, but I think the Bulls are stuck with him. So yeah, the Bulls are guard heavy. Trust me, I know. Oh, I know.
Yeah, I mean I think one was right. They just need like another stretch big. If they can find one, that would be ideal, right? Like coalesce around that. Like I don't know. They can compete. I don't feel like they're in a like their division's okay, right? But it's just gonna be like
I like Vooch. He's solid. He's a
yeah.
solid big man. I like him. Sometimes I don't think he's enjoying the game anymore. Uh, I just don't think he enjoyed the game. I think he could play basketball. I think he brings it every night. I just think he's not enjoying himself here in Chicago, and it's not the city. Is I think he just needs a different atmosphere, and I think his joy will come back. Sometimes I think players lose their joy for the game. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you gotta believe sometimes like money only goes so far, right? You need to be able to win.
In fact, fact.
So this is for everyone in the chat too. But yeah, so the plan is next week, we're gonna get King Speech Row. And again, this is something that we've done ad nauseum, not just here, but on other, Sunday shows a million times. We've already broken down a thousand times why, no disrespect to Kobe Ream, but we've just like why LeBron is such a better player. And I don't think this is like to any knowledgeable basketball fan, uh, this should not be a hot take, right? I mean, It's just unless you just are living with a personal bias and like you hate LeBron, B Kobe's your favorite player, or C both, right? Like it shouldn't be a hot take. Like when there's no argument at all for the other player, not with awards, not with accolades, not with achievements, not with analytics. Hell no, not with analytics, not with the regular stats. Anything. Like there's no argument for you above the other player, then I almost feel guilty taking this debate on and arguing for LeBron just because it's going to be such light work. And we'll have an impartial judge or whatever. We'll do a couple rounds. We'll put a thing up to see who votes to win, but it's going to be such a slaughter because there is no argument for Kobe Bryant over LeBron James unless you're talking about like early round competition in the playoffs or something. But even that, like, you can't use that because you're not keeping that criteria energy for anyone except for Kobe Bryant. And so I just don't understand that narration. Like I said, I love Kobe. Kobe's like my second favorite player of all time. I love the guy. I watch him grow it up. But when you're a fan of the game and you're saying, "Oh, I want to rank players," and you want to do so from an unbiased standpoint, like he's not in LeBron's league as far as anything that you want to. I mean, I know John, you agree. I mean, I don't think it's a hot take.
It's not. It's not. It's not. And let me tell y'all something. I love Kobe and I love his game. We used to play basketball. A few friends of mine used to call me Kobe because they felt like my approach to the game was like Kobe Bryant. So friends of mine called Kobe. I used to have a Kobe jersey. I had his number 8 jersey, not his number 24 jersey. And I love Kobe. I just don't think you have no argument for making Kobe better than LeBron, unless you make up some feelings that's going to make you feel better. And
Yeah,
I think the Kobe LeBron argument is a feelings argument because it's not a basketball argument.
Side door locked.
I don't even know the basketball argument that you can come up with that makes Kobe better. I don't even understand it. I think it's not fair, and I think we should lay that argument to rest.
I'm going
I
to.
don't think it's a fair argument at all.
It's not. It won't even be a fair debate.
It's a feelings argument. It's a feelings argument, and if you like Kobe Bryant, I'm cool with you liking Kobe. But if you're gonna have a conversation about who's better, I think LeBron is better, and I think there's a gap about how much LeBron is better.
There is. It's like if I can get it, if like they had similar stats or like similar effect on team winning on off percentage or like similar accolades and achievements, but when you're cleared so hard by one player, it's just like and there's not really even a single what do you use free throw percentage. It's just like when it's one of the most lopsided comparisons in if we're talking about top 10 players, and Kobe's barely my top 10. Like he's straight up at 10. But like he's when you talk about this lopsided thing, it's like you not to go over this all the time because we already know, but he clears Kobe and everything except for defensive selections, right? And we know he was a better defender than Kobe Bryant by any and all measurement. Like, especially if we didn't consider prime for prime. And see, Danny Mac, I hope that he uses that same argument. I hope King Sweet uses the same argument because he just did, because it's a nonsensical argument that won't hold up when you're actually counting on objective basketball players to decide the outcome of debate. You're arguing to them. And you say, LeBron has a better resume, but Kobe's a better player. Make it make sense. There's no way you can say he's a better player with using anything basketball related. He's not a better shooter overall, especially when LeBron's a better three-point shooter. He's better overall from two. Like Kobe has a slightly better mid-range, but he's a more effective scorer than Kobe Bryant ever was by any and all measurement. He was better defensively, especially when you're talking about peak and prime. LeBron blows him away in every defensive category, and I'll go over that. He has more MVPs, more Finals MVPs, more All NBA selections by far. Like, there's no way you're going to argue that Kobe Bryant is a better basketball player. If you're talking about the greatness aspect, I mean, I think Kobe maybe faced a couple more opponents that were, tougher during his first couple of rings, maybe like prime Spurs, prime. But I mean, I think LeBron has faced harder finals competition by far than Kobe. I don't think that's close either. So you're not gonna, and he's like, we're not even gonna talk about efficiency because that's gonna get boring. Like it's not even close. Would you take T Mac over Shaquille O'Neal as a scorer? For like, you'd have to make the same argument. You can't do it. So it's the same reason why Kobe Jordan's not close. Almost the same reason. But
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot make that argument and make it stick to when you're arguing, because that's what it's going to be. We're going to argue for the chat. We'll maybe have a couple of judges up here, all you guys, and yeah, it should be pretty light work. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I don't even sometimes people want to argue for the Kobe Jordan argument, and I always tell people it's not fair to have the argument. I think Kobe is a great player, and I even hate having a conversation sometimes because I love the way you just broke that down. Because I mean, you want to tell me Kobe is a better scorer, and he doesn't even average more points than LeBron. You know LeBron has more points, but he doesn't even average more points. He doesn't shoot better from 3. He doesn't shoot better from 2. So what Kobe did great, LeBron just did better than him. So, and I'm just talking about scoring. We ain't gonna you don't even have to worry about everything else because you know he's better at it. It's a dumb argument, and everybody knows it's dumb because then you're gonna tell me your argument is gonna be a feeling-based argument, and don't ask me who's a better killer down the stretch. Please don't do that because you're gonna embarrass yourself. Because
some people just want the smoke.
I asked someone, tell me about the game winners Kobe had in the playoffs. Tell me. So the first one he went to was the Phoenix series. When he hit the game winner, he snatched the shoulder. So I want you to know that series, he was up 3-1 and they lost.
Lost, yep.
So you can't name any other game winner in a playoff that Kobe has because he only has one.
We said the Candy Kobe too much. The Candy Man is here. Well, Twin Man's on our side though, one boy.
Yeah, I know Twin Man is on our side. So. That was right up his alley.
I wish this was an interesting debate, like the debate I had with Herm on Karl Malone and Nate Thurmond.
Oh, that's a great debate.
Yeah,
that was great.
That was a very, very fun debate. Hell, I even had that was one we did on MJFB though. That was a super fun debate. Even I debated Ishmael on the most durable player. Was it Malone or LeBron? That was fun too because
yes,
you want these debates where the answer could be a toss up. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't want.
You really got to do some homework and doing that debate and really have to look up some things and write down some things. That's not something you need to do in a Kobe LeBron argument. And that's not a shot at Kobe. That's not even a shot at Kobe.
No, it's not. Yeah. It's crazy. It's like you just don't. And like Tony Boots, like I get you. Like I said, this is not about disrespecting Kobe. Kobe had a deep back, right? But at the end of the day, you look at what do you consider better? I consider better, and everyone should consider better, most effective. Okay? Like I said, T-Mac had more in his bag than Shaq or Hakeem, but he was nearly as effective at scoring the basketball than either of those guys. Okay? Like, so at the end of the day, that's what matters. It doesn't matter how pretty you look with your fadeaway, you know, how good your footwork is. How good are you at getting the ball in the basket? That's the only thing that matters. And LeBron's was light years better than Kobe at it. Still is. And like if LeBron sucked from 3 and Kobe was better, you have maybe a slightly more faceted argument, but LeBron's way better at that too. Like and this is like him you're 40 doing this. So I mean, I love Kobe and I don't want to dismantle him. This is going to be more about just exposing that narrative.
So you said Kobe is a better scorer and don't go off stats. You know, scoring is a stat. So in order to prove Kobe is a better scorer, he has to score the ball, which is a stat.
Yeah.
So when we look at the stat that you just said, what stat shows that Kobe is a better scorer? Because I told you, in order to make Kobe a better player, it's a feeling-based argument. Because you can't tell me Kobe's a better scorer and then tell me not to look at the stats. So what am I looking at? Because scoring is a stat. So I just want to know what am I looking at to see Kobe's a better scorer, because it's a feeling. Because Kobe fadeaways look better. That's what you want to tell me, but you ain't gonna say that.
Yeah, and I mean, like you say, like was he playing in the system in 2004 in his prime? Danny Mac, when he like single handedly shot the Lakers out of that series, was he playing in the system then?
No.
I mean, you've got to make it make sense. Like you talk about he's playing in the system, like no, he didn't win more than LeBron either. He has another ring, and the reason why is because LeBron went to more finals, and LeBron put up better stats in the playoffs and in the finals than Kobe Bryant ever did. Like you're talking about Kobe shooting 22% or 20, like under 40% for finals, right? With 22 points a game. Like you're not gonna make the argument that he's better than LeBron at anything. Not facilitating, not rebounding.
And people don't tell me Kobe's a better winner, because I want to
He's
say
not.
this, and this is a stat you can go look it up yourself. Since 1996, okay, 1996, LeBron isn't in the NBA. LeBron has more playoff wins than every NBA team, period.
Yeah.
In the conversation, he has more playoff wins than each team. Just go down each team since 1996. How many playoff wins they got? LeBron has more.
Yeah.
So
Kobe's one of only two players, top 10 players in league history to have won a chip while playing with that year's MVP and Finals MVP. The other is Kareem. And it's like you make it make sense. Like, look, tell me when that happened to LeBron. Kobe didn't even have a Finals MVP his first 3 rings. He's the only one to have done that too. So come on, like there's no. I'm not saying Kobe wasn't good in the playoffs, blah, 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 but when you talk about transcendent, which is what LeBron is,
yes,
then
he was a generational player before he came into the NBA, and
yep, he was.
I think people don't understand the meaning of generational. LeBron was a generational player before he came into the NBA.
Yeah, it's just like I actually am like trying to hear from a Kobe fan if they can articulate this argument, because it would be really impressive to me, because you can't use stats, you can't use accolades or achievements, you can't use competition really. Like you can't use anything except for like how you thought a player looked while he was scoring. So it's just like if anyone could articulate that, I know damn sure. I mean, we have a smart chat in here, but I mean, I'm gonna be nice to King's Speech because I know he's a smart guy, but I'm gonna obliterate him next week. Anyone who also wants to smoke too, but it's gonna be very fun. Should be a nice debate. We're gonna get in contact with him, set up the rules, probably a couple of rounds, and then we'll have a jury, and we'll set that up so it's proper and everything else too. So it was good. So let's see. And Danny Mac, you're a great commenter. And again, like I see, one of our favorite people, but I can just look at your comment there and say, who cares? So did LeBron. Kobe cultivates and capitalize on momentum. What does that mean? LeBron has done the same thing.
I told you, in order to make Kobe Bryant a better player, is a feeling-based argument. They can't give you a basketball reason. They're going to find everything they can to make Kobe, but it ain't going to have nothing to do with basketball. It's not going to have anything to do with basketball. That's why I don't like arguing the Kobe LeBron argument, because it's not. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. I think Kobe's a great player. He's one of the greatest players to ever play the game. I just think it's levels to this game, and I think it's a difference, and it's a noticeable difference between Kobe and LeBron. In the finals, when San Antonio was playing Cleveland, was that 2006? 2006, Tim Duncan said LeBron James is the best player in the world. And I took that to heart because I believed it. Tim Duncan said this. So my question to you, if at 22 years old, LeBron James is the best player in the world, in Kobe's prime, what year was Kobe the best player?
Yeah, I mean, in his prime, like, when could you make the argument he was best? It wasn't statistically right. I think, I mean, there was a slight argument for maybe
in the middle of Kobe's prime. This is the middle of Kobe's prime.
Kobe's prime,
Let me say this. In the middle of Kobe's prime, LeBron won 4 MVPs.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the middle of Kobe's prime. He's winning 4 MVPs.
It's true.
That's what the league said. I didn't say it. That's what they said. He's the best player in the world. What's the argument for Kobe? What is it? He got more defensive selections, even though LeBron's a better defender. What year was Kobe cheated out of DPOY? Because LeBron got 2 top 2 finishes, 09 and 13.
Yeah, he has way more finishes. Like you're gonna. So here's the thing. I mean, you would have to, if you're talking about any of this stuff, you'd have to articulate that in a debate, and I don't think you can do it.
No.
This is me calling you out to you if you want to debate. Hell, it doesn't have to be me. Yeah, any of us here, we'll each like teach you the ways. But I mean, you're talking about mentality. Even if we're watching,
Twin Man, a fool.
yeah,
Magical footwork and Mamba mentality. That's what they're gonna argue, Twin Man.
sacrifice. What was Kobe sacrificing? Like, he was never a great facilitator. He was never the team's best rebounder. Like, he benefited from Shaq's gravity those first like 7 years in the league, and then he was fine as another stellar big man. Nothing away from Kobe because he was great, but it's just
because they got to come back next week, Johnny. They got to come back next week, and they can have a debate next week.
Yeah, we need to get it together. It would just take too long to do tonight because we need to set up rounds. We need to get judges, stuff like that.
So, 509 left in the fourth. Rockets 84, Golden State 85. So it's no quit in them. Steph Curry got 30 points right now. He said, I can do it without Jimmy.
Yeah. How was Kobe the best player in the league in 09 and 10 when LeBron was MVP and was better than Kobe in every category?
You know Kobe was the best player in 2009.
He was not. Better team record, better points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, way better analytics, way better team effect on team on off. Like, make the argument. Like LeBron said that out of humility.
He won back-to-back MVPs those seasons. Back-to-back. And like I just said, we was talking.
Oh, there it is, John. You have to understand the nuances of the game to know
that's what I told you. That's what I said. I said in order to make Kobe better, it can't do nothing with basketball. It has to be in feelings.
Nuances. There we go. Then we have to go on a spiritual retreat, John, to find out why Kobe's better.
Yes. Danny Mac, I can have it wrong, but what year did he have a top 3 DPOY?
Yeah, tell us that year.
I could be wrong. I'm telling you, I don't have no issue about being wrong, but I just want to know the year he has the top 3 DPOY. That's it, just the year.
Yeah, any year.
I'm gonna wait. So your next comment, would you type? I just want that to be it. Kobe sacrificed his own. What year he sacrificed his numbers? So,
yeah, what?
So you don't want to tell me the year he had the top 3? Okay, I see.
He could have been. He was from not 2001. He wasn't a better scorer than Shaq. So how would he have scored 30 inefficiently?
The sacrifice his numbers. I tell
Danny, we're still waiting for the DPOY answer.
And I'm gonna pay attention to it too. If you don't tell me today, I'm gonna be looking for you tomorrow, Go Jake's Kingdom, to tell me that too. So I'm gonna remind you tomorrow because I want to know the answer. Or what's
Funny Boots, what does that have? Yeah, what does that also that have to do with? Okay, you're saying because he was facing better teams, arguably not better defenders, but better teams. That's why all of his numbers were inferior to LeBron, just because he was in a different conference. He wasn't even the best player in his conference, dude.
I think I brought this up last week's show. Who you think averages the most points versus Kobe ever in Kobe's career?
Easily LeBron or AI.
LeBron, but it's the answer is LeBron James.
Yeah.
And in those games when they playing it versus each other, who you think averages more points between Kobe and LeBron in the matchups?
Yeah. Oh, more everything. LeBron.
Yes, that's why I say it's not a fair argument. You have to come up with a feeling-based argument. You have to come up with something that makes no sense towards basketball. I mean, when you make that argument, just sit next to Stephen A. Smith and come up with a feeling-based argument because it has to be a narrative you want to speak on to make Kobe better. Because when you're talking about basketball,
yeah. And Danny Mac, you can make these arguments like to someone like Stephen A. Smith or Colin Coward because they don't use stats or anything like that. They go off feelings like yourself. But if you bring it up here, we're just gonna knock it out of the park. You know, like we do all bad takes. And we'll do it officially in debates. But
Kobe was better than LeBron in the 2001-2002 season.
When LeBron was in the league.
Yeah, he wasn't in the league. That's the year, okay?
Don't know that Kobe sacrificed his numbers. When did he sacrifice his numbers? Like when he was leading the league, or when he was leading his team in shot attempts every single year, other than like what 01? Tell us when.
I ain't gonna tell you when. I'm still waiting.
Also, where's the DPOY thing, Danny Mac? I thought you said he would give multiple examples of that. Not even one year you can name where he was top 3 DPOY. Because I know he didn't get the votes.
If it was a mistake when you wrote that, I'd rather you just say it was a mistake and we can move on past it. Ain't nobody gonna use it against you. If it was just a mistake, say it's a mistake. You ain't gonna hear about it from me again.
And Danny Mac, you're one of our favorite people. Like you always have, good contributions. You're active and energetic in the chat every week. We don't want to go in on you, but just stop having these ridiculous takes.
He said 2002.
2002. Okay, so Kobe Bryant. You say he was robbed of DPOY, right?
He said, "Oh my God, I don't get it sometimes. It's like I don't get it.
We all wish he was still here, Amar. We love Kobe. This isn't about hating Kobe. We love Kobe. Kobe's my second favorite player of all time. But I mean, so Kobe finished top 3 in MVP or DPOY voting in 2002, right? But we're talking about here, Danny Mac, where you said he was robbed of DPOY. Where was he robbed? Because he wasn't better than Duncan defensively any year. He wasn't even better than David Robinson that year defensively. Or like someone like, let's see. No big man. Ben Wallace. Chitumba. Like Kobe was not going to win MVP any year. Or DPOY, I should say.
I don't know the point of just making up stories anymore.
There's not. Also, yeah, LeBron was finishing like top 5 DPOY from a few of those years too. Ben Wallace, Chitumba, yeah, exactly. Like Kobe wasn't. Like, was he ever a better defender than Shaq? It was probably no. Maybe in the year he left. Yeah, Doug Christie. Yeah, Doug Christie was an underrated defender. Very underrated.
So the 2000, you said it 02-03 season or the 01-02 season?
01-02 season. He was voted top 3 DPOY, right?
Okay, because I got the wrong
yeah.
year. Okay.
Yeah, and that was his best finish ever. He finished top 10 a couple times, or he finished top 5 in 2008, but he never got close to winning one. And like, I'm waiting for the argument which says that, like, nobody's saying that Kobe was a bad defender, Danny Mac, but when you say things like he was robbed, right? Okay, so you say now he was not robbed of DPOY. I'm pretty sure you did say that.
He got one vote.
He got one vote.
I'm serious. Ben Wallace won it that year. He got 116 first place votes.
Mhm.
KG was 2. Kobe and Mutombo was tied for 3rd with 1 vote.
Yep.
You made me look this up for 1 vote.
Hey,
1
Danny
vote.
Mac, tell us who was the only top 10 player in NBA history to finish with their career with a negative defensive box plus minus. Give you a hint. It was Kobe.
1 vote.
One
Hey,
vote. Yeah.
Twin Man. He made me look this up for 1 freaking vote. 1 vote.
Also, wait, what was your point on that, Danny Mac? Besides, like, we never said that Kobe wasn't a good defender. Why are you? What was that? What was that? Why did you even point that out? Was that like some kind of a flex? Yeah, yeah, that's what we said, Danny Mac. He had 2. I told you the other year he was top 5 with 2008. What's your point?
1 vote. He really made an argument for 1 vote.
Anyway, can Brandon hear us? Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I'm clock him in.
Yeah. So yeah. MVP 3, DPOY number 8. Yeah. So in Kobe's prime, again, good defender, but like I said, there's no. If you like I said, I'm not going to just sit here and hammer on Kobe, but oh yes, Johnny, hey, we are ready. But yeah, that's
Well, he made me look this up for 1 vote. Travis, 1 vote.
I know.
1 vote.
One vote. That's just I mean, I still don't understand the point. Like, you're reaching here. Like, in fact, Danny Mac, come.
You're right. You may make me do it, but you tried to make a point about it.
Danny, if you want to argue here, how about this, Danny? If after I take care of King's speech next week, you can debate King John on the same topic, if you want. I mean, because I don't know if he'll ever come up here. I don't think he ever had before, but
All right, y'all. But we gonna be back next week, next Saturday. We hope you guys hear the show. Hey, what did you want them to go for the Discord for the question?
oh, yes, sir. So, Danny Mac, since apparently you won, you get to choose the topic after we do this debate here. We'll hop into your topic, or we'll figure out if we're ready that first or not. But go into Discord, go James Kingdom Discord, and presumably at the very latest by Thursday, and tell us what you want us to talk about. Okay, so do that. But presumably we'll be doing the debate at some point. So we'll whatever you tell us to talk about, we'll chop it up real fast. Then I'll take care of King's Speech.
But hey, I think Golden State gonna end this, and they up 95-88. And let me make sure that's an updated score.
Let's go, Golden State.
97-88 with 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and 43 seconds left in this fourth. So
Let's get Curry that 5th ring so we can be top 6 player of all time.
Oh boy. But all right. Hey, we got a Brandon and Johnny here just for a second, but hey, everybody say hello to them 2 guys. So hey, y'all have a great week, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on Go James Kingdom. And please be back here next week for a whole new debate about everything y'all want to talk about. So
Absolutely. Shout out to Johnny and happy birthday again, B Lee.